Hey you guys, today I am going to share with you all of the secrets that I use to help my clients find affordable homes here in Texas. Today, we're going to be going over how to find affordable homes or deals or investments, whatever you want to call it, here in Texas. As always, some of these topics that we kind of go over are sometimes a little difficult to articulate, and so for that, I always like to have a beer. So do me a favor, grab yourself a beer and join me. The beer I'm going to be drinking is Voodoo Ranger Juice Force IPA New Belgium. Ooh, this is going to be good. It's a 9.5%, so. Oh God. So for being an IPA, it's actually really good. It has like a very citrusy and orange flavor. So what are my recommendations to you to help find affordable or a good deal? Well, Robert, I'm not looking for something that's run down. I'm not looking for something that's completely, a flip or inhabitable. How do I take advantage of the current market? How do I find something that's affordable today? What's made affordability extremely difficult, honestly, over the past couple of years or so, whatever, is going to be interest rates. Interest rates have significantly ate a huge portion of how much you can afford. Whereas before, maybe you could afford a $400,000 house. Now you can afford something closer to a $300,000 house. Not saying that the house got cheaper. I'm just saying that the amount of money that you can borrow based off of how much you make, because that may not have changed, and how much you can pay every single month is no longer the same as it was before. Why? Because of interest rates. So how can we offset these interest rates? I have buyers who are not all cash buyers and say, hey, Robert, I want to buy a house in this particular amount of time. Or, hey, Robert, I have a lease that I don't mind breaking in, but I have 10 months, but I want to buy in this particular area, and this is kind of what I want my monthly payment to look like. Okay, great. So the very first thing we did there was we determined what is affordable for them, right? So based off of their income, their situation, how much can they afford every single month? Once we make that determination of that number, then we reverse engineer it. Where do we need to get that interest rate? Where do we need to purchase, or at what price point do we need to be at? Or where can we push the price point? Because I know we can either get it down or help get closing costs to buy down that interest rate that will then offset the high interest rates that the market is currently yielding. So you're probably thinking, well, Robert, I don't have $250,000 or $300,000 cash. Like, I'm not a cash buyer. Like, let's talk about the current market. How can I take advantage of a situation and time right now? There's a lot of sellers whose homes have been on the market for 60, 90, over 100 days, and they need to get out. But if you're able to identify a seller who's desperate or needs to sell, because again, we don't necessarily know their entire situation, but we just know they need to sell, then you're able to approach that seller and maybe get that house for significantly less than it's worth or what the market dictates it's worth, or you're able to get closing costs to get favorable loan terms. You can buy down the interest rate, or you can participate in different programs that help reduce the interest rate for a short period of time, such as a 3-1 buy down, a 2-1 buy down, or I always suggest permanent buy downs, but there's people who love to hedge against the market and they say, you know what, I'm gonna go with a 3-1 buy down, which is, for the record, when you pretty much buy down your interest rate for 3 years and then a year later it goes up a little bit, and then the third year it goes up a little bit more, and then the fourth year to year 30, assuming you did a 30-year loan, ends up being, considered full maturity. But at least for the first 3 years, you paid a little bit less. So that's what a 3-1 or a 2-1 buy down is. There's a lot of builders out there who have a lot of inventory that's just been sitting on the market. And the thing is, those houses cost builders a ton of money to hold for several reasons. Either they are paying interest to the bank for, having that construction loan to build that house, or their money's tied up in that property. Maybe they just need to sell it, or maybe even sell it at a loss to then move on to the next project and try to make more money, or whatever it is. Regardless, pre-existing sellers who have had a home sitting on the market for months and builders who have sitting inventory that they need to move are desperate sellers. And right now is the time, and their situation have met. So if you don't want to, apply the investor logic of dilapidated or using these unconventional loans to try to flip these dilapidated properties, you need to understand that right now is an awesome and insane opportunity to capitalize on these desperate situations that some of these sellers are in. So my recommendation to you is to learn more about what you need and versus what you want. Because the reality is, for some of these homes, you may not be getting exactly what you want. The builder is probably maybe a little further in the outskirts, so it may not be exactly where you want it. The pre-existing seller's home, it may not be exactly how you like it. Like the floor plan may be a little goofy, or the color scheme may not be out there, or may not be exactly what's in right now, or maybe just a little outdated. So you're gonna need to compromise a little bit to get these really good deals. But the reality is, if you manage to capitalize on some of these deals now, you're gonna have equity almost instantly. So I really hope that you learned a little bit more about the importance of timing and situation, and you take this video and you hopefully make a wise investment for you and your family. Ultimately, this channel is about all things Texas, investments, and so much more. So if there's a topic out there that you want to learn more about that involves Texas, leave a comment below and let me know. If you're considering purchasing or investing in the Dallas-Fort Worth or really anywhere in Texas, click the link below and schedule a Zoom call with me today. And we'll see you guys next time.